Hi there, it's Paul from Wolf Software Systems Limited, wolf.uk.com, and I just thought I'd show you our CodeWolf software. You may remember before Christmas, I did a video showing a 3D view of the code, storing it in MariaDB Vector Databases. We actually originally wrote this in Python, and it's been now rewritten as a plugin for Visual Studio Code. And as you can see here, I've got some working. One of them working on a project, and that project is basically to so we've got a couple of projects running on this machine right now, and what it's doing, so CodeWolf's whole purpose in life is to migrate software from one code base to another. So for instance, from .NET to C, it can take a .NET application and turn it into a web application. And it probably does about 80% of the work that you need to do doing this, and it works by using MariaDB Vector Databases to store the code. So we create, one of the biggest problems with using AI with code is context, is that the AI very rarely has more than a small amount of context, and if you've got a massive project, it's not able to understand the code. So by using MariaDB Vector Databases, we're able to create understanding for the code. And you can see in my last video, I'll leave a link to it in the YouTube below this one, or you can look on the Wolf Software Systems Limited YouTube. You can actually see the 3D representation of how the Wolf code software sees the code. So it has two separate views of the data in vector databases. It allows it to compare what it's doing with what is actually done, and also uses multiple AIs at the same time to check on each other's code. So you can see it actually going through and going, for instance, here it's going it's going checking. You can see it's generating code right now, but basically what it's doing is that one AI will check the code of the other AI and then go, you can't do this, has got a syntax error in it, or this doesn't work, or it doesn't achieve, and it has to generate the code to a very high standard. So this is much more different to the standard. If you just use standard Visual Studio Code AI, it's very good for writing a little bit of code for a routine, but not very good. In fact, you can see it here going absolutely bananas, going actually, you need a configuration system to load settings from opensim.ini, So yeah, so it's now using, it even identifies libraries that it should be using that match the library from the old code. Sometimes we get a stop point where it'll come to a library and go, that library doesn't exist, what do we do? And with .NET, it's actually pretty easy to decompile .NET and get hold of, to see what libraries do. If there's not, but there normally is something that's mapped. But you can see it goes code review, the architecture's on a code review, and it's gone overall rating needs worked. While individual components like the event system, high quality, good attention to OpenSim, so you can see that it's finding the flaws in the code, which is the big problem with coding with AI normally, is it doesn't have full context. Even if you use one of these complete online builders, it doesn't have full context of the code. Also, so when we see the code, there it is. You can see it's actually busy working on different parts, different tests that it can do. And then we can actually just run the code. And this one's actually quite a long way down the road, really. But it is basically a plugin now for Visual Studio Code. Will we make it available outside of Wolf Software Systems? I don't know, because it uses our proprietary technology. And also we have this thing called Intelligent Wolf. So if you're interested in this sort of thing for your project, or if you think that we can just apply that one, if you think that we could perhaps help you rebuild software that you've got, and with our Intelligent Wolf platform, we can actually take a pretty broken piece of software and make it fantastic and new and work on the web. So yeah, get in touch, wolf.uk.com. You can email us at sales.wolf.uk.com, and we'll go from there. So that's, yeah.